Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Good morning, Nigeria. The nation wakes up to yet another chapter in the theater of power and politics. I'm Oluwayemi Adelako, and this is Daybreak Live, where truth meets analysis, and every headline is a window into the nation's heartbeat.
And I'm Oluwakwoido. This morning, the political airwaves are buzzing with controversy. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Adohan has accused Senate President Godswill Akpabio of directing customs to withhold a passport, describing the act as harassment.
Definitely. It's a claim that raises more than just eyebrows. It raises questions about political power, gender, and the limits of influence in a democracy that's still learning to separate authority from abuse.
Coming up shortly, Daybreak News will bring you top national and international stories shaping Nigeria's political and social climate this morning.
Right, then we'll dive straight into the front pages, the headlines that define Nigeria's day, and the undercurrents that reveal what's really driving them.
Absolutely. Joining us for analysis this morning is Victor Akinley, a political analyst, a scientist, and public affairs analyst as well. Together, we'll dissect the noise, the nuance, and the narratives behind today's biggest stories.
And for today's big story, we turn from power to protection. Justice defied the Otanians case and child protection in Nigeria. The case that shook the nation years ago still echoes in conversations about justice, vulnerability, and accountability.
Our guest today is Barrister Toru Sheju Ikibe, a legal practitioner, gender rights advocate, and former secretary of the International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA. She joins us to unpack what Nigeria is getting wrong and what still can be done right for its most vulnerable citizens.
Definitely. Then we'll wrap things up with trying to watch a quick spin through the stories shaping public opinion and online conversations.
Definitely. From the corridors of power to the pulse of the people, it's all here and it's happening now.
I like that, and it's happening right now. This is Daybreak Live, femme and thought, fearless in perspective. Let's begin. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Yemi. This morning.
Yeah, just you're doing great.
Very well. Just you too.
I'm doing great. So last week Friday, I don't know, we were talking about Senator Natasha, and then I said, praise the Lord, we're done with all the war, because she invited, Senator Akpabio and of course the other senators to a celebration, celebrating second year in the office. But then yesterday we saw a video, and then in that video, Natasha, she was close to crying actually, where she complained bitterly that, her passport was seized, at the airport. And of course, we saw, some of the officials saying sorry to her, a certain woman, and then, some other members saying sorry, why she kept complaining. She went live actually, and so people recorded and then posted. You can find all the videos. So let's watch a particular video before we continue the conversation this morning.
Hello, fellow Nigerians. Good morning. This is Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. I haven't completed my celebration of my second year in office. I decided. So I'm at the airport here, and my passport is being withheld again. The same thing happened last time where my passport was seized. I have committed no offense, and there is no order from the court to withhold my passport and deny me traveling. The last time this happened, the officer in charge told us that the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, instructed them to withhold my passport and prevent me from traveling because he said each time I travel out of the country, I smear the country's image by granting interviews out in international media. Please, can you tell them to release my passport and this embarrassment should stop? You have no right to withhold my passport. You have no right to deny me exit and entrance into my country. I have not committed any offense, and this must stop. Sorry. No, this must stop. As a matter of fact, I think I have to sue you for continuously embarrassing me. Sorry. No, don't tell me sorry. Can I please have my passport? You can't keep doing this to me all the time. I've been standing here for the past 20 minutes. Why are you doing this? What have I committed? The last time it had to take someone influential to call you to release my passport. That was what allowed me travel. Now again, you're withholding my passport. Why are you making calls? Is Godswill Akpabio so important? Why is he overruling boundaries? Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President, has instructed the Comptroller General of Customs to deny me exit, to withhold my passport. This is wrong. There was no order. Yes, I know I have 2 federal government cases against me, of which the President of Nigeria instructed the AGF to cancel the cases, to withdraw the cases. No, hold on, please. This President Bola Ahmed Tinubu actually spoke with Godswill Akpabio to terminate all the cases against me because he agreed that they were politically witch-hunting cases. Hold on. So there is no reason why my passport should be withheld at the international airport. There is no reason why. You have no right to do that, madam. You have no right. You are taking laws into your hands. There is no court order. I have not missed any of my court appearances. I have attended all my court sessions. I am not a flight risk. I am not a risk to my country. So why are you treating me like a criminal? Can I have my passport, please? Thank you very much. Sometimes I think you just have to be a rebel to get things right. Then you keep asking Nigerians to be good citizens. If I had not gone public, would you have given me my passport?
All right, welcome back from that short video this morning. I'm very sure you watched the video, and then a lot happened. She mentioned quite a number of things in that video. Let's start with, where she said, this has happened before. This is not the first time that my passport, will be seized for me at the airport. It happened in July, because I read the report where she said at the time in July, her passport was also seized. And the points that she mentioned is the fact that the president, as President Muhammadu Buhari, instructed the AGF, the courts and the Senate to drop every case against her. So in view of that, the ministry, that is NIS, have no right whatsoever to seize her passport or stop her from traveling. I also read the report where she said her husband's passport, was stamped in seconds, and then a lot of persons, got their passport stamped, in seconds, while she stood there for over 20 minutes. What is now very surprising about this matter is the fact that NIS released a statement. I read to you. They said the Nigerian Immigration Service has denied the allegation of Senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, that its officers withheld a passport at the airport. The immigration spokesperson, Akinsola Alabi, said he said on an interview yesterday that the Kogi senator alleged an attempt to block her from traveling, that the incident was part of routine immigration procedures. Can you help me make sense of this? Because they are saying it is part of the procedures. That was why her passport was seized. But according to them, it was not seized. It was actually taken so that they can carry out on all their procedures, and then it was returned to her. But according to the senator, she stood there for over 20 minutes while other persons got their passport stamped in seconds. Really?
Well, there are different ways to look at this issue. We can start from what the NIS released, like you mentioned. Akinlabi, who is the spokesperson of the NIS, Nigerian Immigration Service, was saying it was just a routine check, that a procedure that they would normally carry out, and it's not peculiar to her, maybe to dispute or to debunk that she was being witch hunted, as it were. What we could also take it from where she went on to say some things, you know, maybe about the reconciliation between herself, Akpabio, the Senate, the AGF, that the president had to intervene to say, okay, guys, let's let the sleeping dog, let it lie. Let's not raise dust over this issue. Let's forget about it and all of that. But that's also questions, you know, the rule of law in a way, to say that if someone is being alleged to do something, should it not be tried in court instead of the president just coming to overrule and say, okay, let's forgive and forget, let's sweep under the carpet? How long do we want to do this for? And how many cases are we going to sweep under the carpet? By the way, that's not the most important. One of the things she also said that struck out to me was she mentioned that you expect Nigerian citizens to be law-abiding. You know, she was saying that to the officials right there. But there's a lot of way to say that. Do they have the right to do that? I'm not sure. But could there have been an order, like she mentioned, from the Senate President Godswill Akpabio? We are not privy to that as well. But one of the things we can make of this is that she alluded to an event that happened before this time. She was saying that she had the same issue, and then she was explaining that she's not at a flight risk. She does not have any pending court case. No crime committed. You know, exactly. So she was explaining her point to say, I did not do any of those things that could have warranted this kind of measure against me and my office. But, you know, all of this, again, if you have to consider, then you ask the question, what exactly is the leadership structure in Nigeria about? Because if you have to say, you know, last week we were celebrating, like you mentioned. Oh, yeah, there seems to be a calm after the storm. Everything is going down the drain. We are fine. Everything is fine with it at the Senate chamber. And then all of a sudden now, she's coming up to say, so she's more like alleging that Akpabio is still involved in this, and Akpabio is the one doing all of this behind the scenes. But again, I'm not so sure that allegation would be, I'm even expecting a statement from Akpabio to probably debunk that or say, because she's actually going for a recess after every of the things. She wanted to take a time out. That was why she wanted to travel. But one of the things the NIS official also mentioned, Akinsola, was that when she was clear to fly, she did not post that. She only posted when she had issues with, you know, her passports being withheld and all of that.
But then we saw the video where even the officials had to tell her sorry several times. And then when she was on that live and she kept on complaining that, you know, you don't have the right to seize my passport, none of them mentioned anything to say, okay, this is just the procedure. Can you, you know, become for some minutes to get your passport back?
I'll tell you one thing.
But we didn't see any of that.
I'll tell you one thing. Every official of government are always scared when you bring out your phone. Have you tried it before?
No, that's normal.
Yeah, so they are always cautious, so they don't want to talk because they know whatever they say can become a problem for them. So maybe we could have said, oh yeah, they say, okay, let's calm down and see. I'm not saying that the NIS, I'm not justifying what they did. I'm only saying that could have been a procedure if she had maybe made a consultation with whoever is in charge to say, can I have a word with you? Why is this happening? Okay, so they can explain. But she wasn't like from the video we saw, she wasn't ready to take any conversation. She was ready to get straight to the line. But again, it begs the question too, do we always have to get online before things get done? Really?
Okay, I'm not trying to serve Natasha now. I'm just trying to speak to the issues now. And I'm not going to say it is very necessary for us to go live before we can get issues sorted. But she mentioned something, because I follow facts, really. And I follow the case. I've been following the case for a while now. She said the last time this happened, it took someone so influential in the country, you know, to call these people before her passport, before she was allowed to fly. So what do you make of that? Maybe that was why she felt, okay, if I don't make this public, maybe my passport will not be released to me. Don't forget, she also said her husband's passport was cleared in seconds. All the persons that came after her, are you not seeing it that way? Their passport was cleared, you know, in seconds, in minutes, while she stood there, you know, for about 20 minutes. So maybe going live was not the best thing to do, but then according to some Nigerians, I've seen tweet online to say that if she had not gone live, maybe she would not have been allowed to fly, or maybe her passport would have been delayed in more than that that time. So it's a lot to unpack, really. But it's just sad that at this point in time, we cannot, get to the bottom of this matter. I thought we are past this. Oh, Senator Akpabio is doing this to me. Oh, Natasha is not, following the others. All of this. I thought we are past that. But seeing this development now, I think it is necessary, maybe for the president to step in, especially when his name was mentioned in this whole conversation, to say, because it's a very strong statement to say that the president asked the court, the AGF, and the Senate to drop every single case against me. She also mentioned that, oh, I've never missed any of my court, appointment. I've never committed any crime, so why should my passport be delayed? Let's look at the issues straightforward. I'm not citing anybody. I'm just speaking to the issues and, of course, what I saw and, of course, the things I've read. So, really, I think we can do better. And, of course, the NI is coming out to say, oh, our passport was not seized, this and this happening was just a procedure. Fine, that's also allowed. We just need more investigation on this matter to get to the bottom of the matter. What really happened? Maybe eyewitnesses can help us in this case.
Perhaps who gets to call the eyewitnesses? I'm not sure people have time to come and say, okay, I was there. This case, I can assure you, will not go through the courts. But let's take that.
Not really, not necessarily the court now, just to clarify things, because Natasha, according to her passport was seized.
Who do you expect to do the investigation?
No, I mean, it can just be resolved amicably. Maybe if people were there at the court. See, we understand these things better. You can see, check out the body language of those officials. Why were they saying sorry? Why she kept on saying that, you can't seize my passport, you have no right. If at all it was the normal procedure, they could have said something in the video. I don't think that will implicate any of them.
Let's just assume, it's all assumption, right? Let's just assume that they were waiting for an order. Maybe they've gotten an order before then. So they were waiting for an overriding order to say, can she fly? And then they are yet to get it. But see, I'm not justifying that as well.
Neither am I doing that.
I'm only saying that sometimes when people in political class, in public office, appointments come out to do something online, it's different than what an average person would do online, because it passes more information to the outside world than it does to the inside world. I mean, about Nigeria. Because if you have to put that out as a thing, she's been in the news. She's spoken at United Nations conferences. Whatever she says, everybody's ready to listen. Whatever she puts out there can create an image of what Nigeria is. And that begs the question of leadership in Nigeria again and again. Because if we have to sell ourselves cheap, I mean, who will buy us expensive?
Now that was why I mentioned that the president must step in at this point, because she mentioned his name and a very strong statement. The president asked them to drop every case against him. It's a very strong one. I just are asking, is this where we have got into in our judiciary? And it's a sad one. So we cannot say that statement is true. We are not privy to whether there was a meeting and then the president said this and that. I'm very sure the presidency will release a statement on this, and of course the Senate will also release a statement on this, so that we can get or maybe find a true bearing of what is actually going on, really. That's the way I'm saying this matter.
Oh, well, I do not share in your optimism.
No problem.
I do not share. I don't think the president would have the time for this.
Not the president. I said the presidency.
Yeah, I'm not sure they will have the time for this, because there's a lot of stories also.
No,
there's a lot
according
of
to you, it doesn't portray as well in the global world to say the president of a country.
Sometimes, Achebe wrote, she was quoting, she spoke at Boston in a particular TED talk in 2010, and then one of the things she said is that we are impressionable at the face of stories. Stories told again and again becomes the narrative that everybody believes. And the problem with some of those stories is not that they are not correct, it's that they are incomplete. So if you send an incomplete story over and over again, it becomes a narrative. Now, a lot of people will see Nigeria as a place that's not serious. Senator is being denied.
Recently, Trump came out to say that and referred to us as a disgraced country, unfortunately. And of course, just to add to that, Chimamanda, came out recently, maybe years back, she said there's something we call danger of a single story. That's what I'm saying. Other parties must also come out to talk about, what really happened, so we can know, what transpired between both parties, so that we do not, because I do not even know how to side with a party. I just speak to the issues, clearly, based on the things I've seen. I think it's a convenient place to leave it. You do not share my optimism, but I do believe that, some of those parties will release a statement soon. It's a fine place to put it this morning. Of course, we'll come back to this issue, if you have any more development on the matter. It's time to take the weather reports this morning. Please stay with us. And of course, we'd like to start with one of the states this morning, one of the cities this morning. And of course, this morning we'd love to start We'll have to start with Ilorin this morning. We have weather is around 23 degrees Celsius this morning, and later in the morning is expected to be around 29 degrees Celsius, and mostly cloudy, around 1%. And in the afternoon, 34 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 0%. In the evening, 27 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 4%. And overnight, 24 degrees Celsius, cloudy, around 8%. That's what we have for Ilorin this morning.
And from Ilorin now to Ibadan, your state particularly, the weather feels like 24 degrees Celsius. Morning is quite cloudy, expected to be 29 degrees Celsius. Variation in the afternoon, 30 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy. And also evening time is mostly cloudy at 25 degrees Celsius. Overnight is expected to be cloudy as well at 24 degrees Celsius in Ibadan, or your state, Nigeria.
All right, let's cross over to Ekiti Southwest. Weather this morning feels like 23 degrees Celsius. Later this morning is expected to be around 27 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 5%. And in the afternoon, 28 degrees Celsius, scattered thunderstorms, around 43%. In the evening, 23 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 9%. And overnight, 23 degrees Celsius, cloudy, around 10%. That's what we have for Ekiti Southwest this morning.
And from Ekiti now to Abeokuta South, Ogun State, Nigeria, weather feels like 24 degrees Celsius. The weather is expected to be cloudy at 29 degrees Celsius later in the morning, and afternoon 31 degrees Celsius with the promise of scattered thunderstorms. Also mostly cloudy in the evening at 26 degrees Celsius. Overnight is mostly cloudy as well at 25 degrees Celsius in Abeokuta South, Ogun State, Nigeria.
All right, let's cross over to Lagos this morning. Weather feels like 29 degrees Celsius. Later this morning is expected to be around 28 degrees Celsius. Scattered thunderstorms around 43%. In the afternoon, 29 degrees Celsius. Mostly cloudy around 12%. And in the evening, 27 degrees Celsius. Mostly cloudy around 16%. And overnight, 27 degrees Celsius. Mostly cloudy around 6%. That's what we have for Lagos this morning.
And from Lagos to Osun, still in southwest state, Osun Osogbo, weather feels like 23 degrees Celsius. Later in the morning, 28 degrees Celsius, an increment of 2 degrees Celsius. Cloudy. Scattered thunderstorms expected in the afternoon in Osogbo today at 30 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius in the evening, mostly cloudy. And overnight, 24 degrees Celsius as well, cloudy in Osogbo, Osun State today.
All right, let's cross over to Port Harcourt Rivers. Weather feels like 21 degrees Celsius this morning. Later this morning is expected to be around 25 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 17%. In the afternoon, 26 degrees Celsius, scattered thunderstorms around 40%. In the evening, 22 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 24%. And overnight, 21 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 24%. That's what we have for Port Harcourt Rivers this morning.
And we journey from Port Harcourt to the biggest state in Nigeria, that's Niger State, Suleja. The weather feels like 24 degrees Celsius, and later in the morning it rises to 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy, and also an increment to 33 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy also in the afternoon. The evening, 26 degrees Celsius, the weather drops, mostly cloudy, and it drops quite significantly overnight at 23 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy as well in Suleja, Niger State today.
All right, crossing over to Kaduna Airport this morning, where it feels like 21 degrees Celsius, and later is expected to be around 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 0%. In the afternoon, 33 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny around 0%. And in the evening, 24 degrees Celsius, clear around 0%. Overnight, 20 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 1%. So that's what we have for Kaduna Airport this morning.
And from Kaduna to Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, the weather feels like 24 degrees Celsius across board. Morning, it rises to 30 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy, and evening is expected to rise to 33 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy as well. The evening, 26 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, and it drops down below at 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy overnight in the Federal Capital Territory.
All right, that's how far we can go this morning. Now the weather report. Thank you for being a part of this segment. But before we go on this short break, do well to follow us across all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, at Dominion Broadcast, and of course on X at Dominion Cast. We take a short break, and when we come back, Daybreak News will come up. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Hello and welcome. This is Daybreak News on Dominion Television. My name is Anoluakpo Edo. The federal government has unveiled a landmark initiative aimed at entrenching transparency, accountability and efficiency in Nigeria's tertiary education system with the official launch of the federal government tertiary institution governance and transparency platform. Speaking at the event in Abuja, the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, described the platform as a major milestone in the nation's effort to promote good governance, restore public trust, and enable data-driven decision-making in the education sector. In another development, President Bola Tinubu has also transmitted the name of the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice of Enugu State, Dr. Kingsley Tochukwu Ude, to the Senate for confirmation as a minister. After reading the President's letter, Akpabio referred the nomination to the Consent Committee of the Whole for further processing. The Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS, has denied the allegation of the senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, and its officers withheld that passport at the airport. The immigration spokesperson, Akinshola Akinlabi, told Nisman shortly after the Kogi senator alleged an attempt to block her from traveling that the incident was part of routine immigration procedures. Speaking further, Akinlabi clarified that officers were only performing their statutory duties, but accused the senator for not posting updates after being cleared to fly. A high court in Oyo State has ordered the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to go ahead with the National Convention scheduled for Saturday 15th and Sunday 16th of November 2025 in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The presiding judge, Justice A.L. Akintola, in an interim order, ordered the PDP to conduct its national convention and elect new national officers as contained in its already approved guidelines, timetable, and schedule of activities, pending the hearing and determination of a motion and notice before him. The court also ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to attend, monitor, and observe the elective national convention of the PDP as scheduled for Ibadan, Oyo State, pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice. The Oyo State government has announced the replacement of more than 200 damaged street light poles across Ibadan as part of its effort to improve public lighting and strengthen infrastructure in the state capital. Speaking in Ibadan, the Commissioner for Energy and Mineral Resources, Professor Daoud Kainde Sangodoyin, disclosed that the state recorded 207 knockdown streetlight poles out of a total of 3,875 poles identified across the city. He explained that anyone caught destroying public infrastructure would be compelled to pay for immediate replacement with police involvement where necessary. Shogodoyin reiterated the state government's commitment to ensuring that all urban centers in the Oyo State maintain functional street lighting systems, which are essential for security, commerce, and the general well-being of residents. Away from Oyo State, residents of Akpomu, an agrarian community in the Akure South local government area of Ondo State, have raised alarms over what they describe as an imminent breakdown of law and order, following the destruction of their farmlands by unknown gunmen. The protesters, chanting solidarity songs, took to the streets of Akure, the Ondo State capital, carrying placards with various messages to express their grievances. The spokesperson for the angry protesters alleged that they have faced years of intimidation and violent attacks from unidentified assailants who keeps threatening their livelihood.
Chase us with cutlass, chase us with gun, and so many harmful things. Most of the time we are helpless, nobody to come to our rescue, and nobody to talk with. And this is what we use to feed our family, because majority of us are family man or family woman. Some are even widows. We have been there since inception, over 100 years. We inherited this farm from our forefathers.
We want government to help us to stop those people who are bulldozer our farm, because they have already bulldozer all the farm. Now we come back governor and the governor of Ondo State to help us at the place that they reach, the bulldozer the farm reach now, to stop everything.
The agreed farmers appeal to Governor Loki Ayedatiwa to intervene and prevent further crisis in the community, warning that their patience is running thin. In business, President Bola Tinubu has asked the National Assembly to approve a new 1.15 trillion naira loan from domestic market to cover part of the deficit in the 2025 national budget. The request, contained in the letter from the President, was read by Senate President Godswill Akpabio during plenary, which explained that the borrowing is aimed at bridging the fiscal shortfall and ensuring the smooth implementation of key government programs and projects outlined in the 2025 budget. Following the reading of the letter, Akpabio referred the proposal to the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debt for further consideration and directed the committee to submit its report within 1 week. In sports, Nigeria's star striker Victor Osimhen said he is ready to take Galatasaray to new heights in the UEFA Champions League, insisting it is time to make a statement in the most prestigious games. The Super Eagles forward, in a recent interview with UEFA, recounted his conversation with the president of Galatasaray upon arrival, where he agreed to make a statement in the Champions League. The Nigerian's ambition reflects his relentless spirit, a hallmark of his rise from humble beginnings in Olusosun, Lagos, to the top of world football. And that's about it. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast. And on next at Dominion Cast. And that's Daybreak News. I am Anolua Bo Edo. Thank you for watching.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
The People's Democratic Party National Convention seems to stand against all odds, but that's one of the stories we'll take. Well, thank you very much for joining us on this edition of Newspaper Headlines and Analysis right here, where we check into the stories that are breaking and developing. We lace through the stories and we get many of them this morning. So many stories to reel out this morning, so many conversations on the table of discourse, but we have a lot of them, and I won't do this alone. I have with me in the house Victor Aklei. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
I think you gave another response when we were off the stage, that you were trying to be good also.
Oh yeah, I was trying to be fine.
Is it about the PDP or about Natasha? All right, we'll get into the conversation proper now. Court orders PDP that we're going to proceed with November 15 and 16 convention. Direct INEC to attend, not just attend, monitor proceedings, and on North Central as meeting splits over resolution to back Damagun. Meanwhile, there's also someone raising brows. Of course, that's talking about here some Wike kicks as or your court lifts PDP convention ban. That story came out yesterday and it became a national discourse. PDP are said to have this convention in Ibadan, as they have scheduled it to be. You know, there was a particular court injunction that said they should not have that, and now we have another court coming to say, I'm ruling in your favor, you should go ahead with the national convention. But all of that is not as important as what's going to come out of the convention. They want to select new leaders of the party, maybe to restructure and to put some structures in place to help the party work well and, you know, do its opposition strength and opposition party game as we have in the political space. But what do you make of all of this? What's likely to happen at the PDP National Convention? A sect of Yesom Wike would not allow. They've been opposing this. A set of Damagun, the governor for your state, and a lot of people also in Siri are saying, let's have this national convention. What do we expect, or what should we expect from this convention? Victor.
Thank you for having me once again. So this is the best time to have the convention. The year is wrapping up already, and so they shouldn't go into the new year clueless. Go into the new year not knowing what they really want to do. Going into the new year, we have them just about a year into the next national elections, so they should be fully prepared. So now is the best time to have their national convention. APC are going to have theirs too by December. So it doesn't matter, it's not a competition. It doesn't matter, it's not a competition, but they should also, get their house in order. All right? PDP getting their house in order is a big threat to any party in Nigeria. Let me say that again boldly. PDP getting their house in order is a big threat to any party in Nigeria today. So, of course, when APC has theirs in December, meaning they too are preparing for the new year. So it's a good time for PDP to quickly get their house in order ahead of the new year. So is it the right time? Yes. Have there been issues that they shouldn't have them? Of course, they have a pending issue. But there's an order, ex parte order, that says we are not overruling the existing issue, but go ahead and have your convention, because it is super important that you have your convention. It is very, very important that PDP should have a convention. Every party should have national annual convention, and you should go and have yours too. The right is equal to all, whether the party is small or big, has issue or is far. It is a constitutional right, yes, for all of them. So go and have yours too. And now, thirdly, why is PDP so agitated to have it now? Because they know they should have it now, ahead of the new year. Now is the best time, I repeat, to have it, not the mid-year, not the early year. Now is the best time to forge ahead into the new year. So yes, their agitation, their fight, their struggle to make it happen is right, is correct. So they shouldn't be hindered to do that. So why is Wike against them? The question is, what does Nyesom Wike really want? Is he a true member of that party at all? I mean, we should now start asking or questioning or querying his existence in that party. Firstly, you are a big minister functioning under an opposition party. That should be questioned. I'm not a PDP person. I've always said this. I'm not a party member. I'm not supporting any party at all. But I'm a very, very crucial public analyst. Let's look at things critically the way they should. You are a PDP member, and then you are holding a ministerial appointment with an opposition party. Isn't that enough to be queried? Then again, your mother party that gave you for 8 years governorship, you are still now speaking against them every now and then, standing in their way every now and then. Then we should ask you, what do you really want?
I should have asked you that question too, but let's just assume that would mount it up together. And this is why. The APC has experienced so many defections from the PDP particularly. There's been so many big wigs moving from the PDP down to the APC for some reason. I wouldn't know, but some of them explain some of the reasons why they are making those moves. But again, do you think PDP stand a chance in the forthcoming 2026, 2027 elections?
They still don't.
Even with this party, with this convention about to hold?
When this convention holds, and then they now have a good structure, and then they are able to produce credible candidates, or a credible candidate for the presidency.
Maybe if a PDP person is listening to you, do you have a credible candidate you might want to recommend?
I can't recommend anybody. But here's the thing. It's not about a PDP thing now. It's about the strength the APC has been able to build over the years. It's about the personality in the presidency, the person in the presidency. Now, anybody can beat anybody in the presidency. We've seen. Goodluck Jonathan was knocked off, So yeah, anybody can beat any person in a contention or in a competition. But the question now is not, what I always say is, the question now is not the party now, it's the person. Permit to say, the person sitting in Nigeria presidency is like a deity. You must have more than just electoral power, political power to beat him as a person. So you are likely, the way I put it is, you are fighting a party and fighting a person. Even if you win in the party level, will you win the person? The person is strategy personified. So do you have the strategy to beat him as a person? So this person is not just anybody that a party can. If his party is, his strategy enough will make the party win.
You think that?
I know that his strategy enough. This is somebody who started the party, a warm-up party, and has transcended to this. Have you forgotten? He started AC, Action Congress. Then Action Congress produced the governor, Fashola, then against every. What's that word now?
Against all odds.
All odds. He was the whole. He produced the governor. Produced him the second time. Another party came to merge with him. He didn't go. They merged. From Action Congress became Action Congress of Nigeria, became APC, and what we have today. That one man that produced one governor is now, or has now, that party has now produced a president in the person of the founder of that same one-man party. Then let's think. Let's look at it critically.
But some will allege and say, for every kind of thing like this, for every law, for every theory, there's always an exception. They might say that you have been there for a long time, or that you have the power to be there for a long time does not mean you'll be there forever. Definitely. But yes, let's take another story that is also in tandem with that, and that's talking about Trump's threats. China, European Union, ECOWAS are backing Nigeria. A lot of people have come out to say different things, but I think one of the things, before I post it to you straight up, is I was asking myself that, a wise man once said, Jim Rohn particularly, that, we should not think about what we have, because that's not the greatest asset of any nation. The greatest asset of any nation is not what you have or what you get. It is what you are becoming. And we've seen what we have become over the years. We've seen what the United States have become. There should be a blueprint if you want to become a world leader, a global leader, a force to reckon with. There's so much to be done. I'm not sure Nigeria is taking that trajectory to becoming African giants, needless to say a world giant. But again, the story has been Trump came to say something and everybody's in disarray. What exactly is the case? What do you make of this particularly? If China is backing ECOWAS, China is backing us, ECOWAS is backing Nigeria, and every other president, political weeks, even in the outer space, are saying, yes, we back that US does not have the right to interfere into the affairs of the Nigerian state. Let me get a comprehensive thought of yours on this issue.
Well, that's a big one there. Very big one there. So, like I would say, I always say that if there is no, we said the last time we met that if there is no fire, there will be no flame.
Definitely.
If that fact is not existent, Trump will not talk about it. It is the truth. So Trump is speaking the truth. Does Nigeria need intervention? The truth is yes. Not only on religious matters, on every other.
Is it solicited or unsolicited? That's another conversation.
So the thing is, to answer that, you can't help somebody who does not know he needs help. Or, better put, who does not admit he needs help. Nigeria needs help. But the leaders are not admitting that the nation needs help. It is egoistic, it is foolishness. I'm sorry, it is whatever the word is. You need help, admit it. I said it the last time that one other thing I don't like about this sitting government is the fact that they are clueless and they don't want to admit they are clueless. Things are not going well and they do not want to admit it. They are playing as though, don't worry, we have it in control. You do not have it in control. A 5-year-old child knows you don't have it in control. Come out plain, be accountable, be transparent, admit your faults. What makes you a better person? What brings growth in the first place is you know that you are small. You admit that you are small. Then from thence, you begin to grow. Just admit it that we have needs. We need external help from these big nations to come. So why would a nation like China say, leave Nigeria, don't talk about it? China is an established nation. China does not have religious problem. China does not have economic problem. No nation is perfect. Like they always say, no marriage is perfect, all right? No nation is perfect. No one is perfect. But we can say people like US, China, they are close to being perfect as a nation. You can't compare them to
They're
Nigeria.
world leaders.
They're world leaders. So why would I say China might not be correct? Because they can't relate.
How do you mean they can't relate?
They don't have religious problem. They don't have economic problem. They don't. We do. We are the ones suffering the heat. So a Nigerian wants international interference. And
But
every
the president
Nigerian,
is a Nigerian and is saying no to that.
because it's the president.
There are many
And-
other
and
presidents
it's
who
not-
have backed the president to pitch behind his
because they are
tent.
not realistic.
So if you are realistic, we should call the US to go
They
into
should
those
help us.
provinces.
They should
and-
help us. But here's the thing: before you let them come, you dialogue, you communicate well. And like I always say, communication is the mother of everything. When you are coming, we thank you for your sensitive and whatever those political grammars are. Thank you for wanting to help us. Thank you for your sensitivity and your sensitivity. All right, but now let's sit down and talk. Let there be boundaries from scratch. What and what do you want us? What and what do you want to help us with? Are you deploying your soldiers? We have soldiers too. How can they collaborate? Do you want to bring in funds? How do you help us? Let's talk. Because what they are thinking right now is ECOWAS and the likes, which might not be out of place, is that it's just a subtle invasion, or they want to come out like a pastor was saying. I read that somewhere where the pastor was saying they just want to come and steal our resources and leave us like the British did to Benin Empire. Then want to come and steal our resources. Even if that's true, are you using the resources?
you know, for one of time, I need to maybe just delve into something else. So, there are so many issues, but time would not agree to really harp on every of those subjects. Now, again, Tinubu asked Senate to okay fresh 1.15 trillion naira. Have you seen that? It's on Daily Independence on many outlets this morning now. It's asking the Senate to okay fresh 1.15 trillion naira. What do you make of Tinubu's budgetary, loans, and fiscal tax policies and all of those policies?
It's clueless. Again.
You mean the president?
Yes. The president is clueless. So all this money you are making here and there, what are you using them for? What are you spending them
They
on?
said it's to supplement the budget, the deficit in the budget of the 2026, according to the presidency. So they want to use it to, pad it, as it were.
The question is all the money you've made, all the taxes you've made. There's another tax rate on importation of fuel now, or petrol now. All of this money that you are getting, you've gotten another guy to undo tax master, what they call it. All this money that you are getting from here and there, we are not seeing the productivity of this money. It's just it's clueless. It's a bad government.
All right.
That's
So you alluded to that issue of the 15% tariff as well. That Nigerians have to pay 1 trillion naira extra for petrol yearly. It's on the Punch newspaper this morning, and you are asking the question again from the government: what do you intend to do with all of this money? What have you been doing with all of this
The
money?
ones you've been getting.
What do you think they can make of? What do you think they can do with this money?
What they can do with them? A lot now. A lot.
They are doing a lot. That's what they tell you. Did you listen to the president at the the
October
celebration
1st.
October 1st? They mentioned some of the things, quite a number of things they've been doing.
We are not seeing them. Once we don't see them, you are not doing anything.
So you feel this
simple
government is
logic.
not really serious on what they are saying?
They are not doing well. No matter whatever it is you are doing, once we can't see it, once an average Nigerian is not benefiting from it, you are not doing well. You are not doing anything. Since this administration has been in, since when, sir? Since 2023 now, it has been from one pillar to post of one issue to the other. Nigerians are complaining. I don't want to use the word sovereign. Nigerians are complaining. Economy is hard. Source of living is hard. And many Nigerians cannot afford basic needs again. Everything is hiking. Fuel is hiking. Accommodation is hiking. Feeding. These are basic needs that a citizen of any nation should have. Feeding, accommodation. But these things are not affordable. Then you said you are working. Doing what, sir? What exactly? I was telling someone in church one day, I said, once you can't afford your basic needs, you are poor. you can't afford your basic needs, you are poor. And what are your basic needs? Accommodation. Be able to put a shelter on your head. Number 2, feed yourself. Not necessarily 3 square meals, but at least maybe 1 square meal, but 1 good meal, 1 balanced diet in a day. You can't afford it. You are poor. So if a nation can't provide citizens that, is a bad government.
Let's speak to the issue of the police in Anambra. They have deployed 60,000 security personnel for Anambra elections. That's in 2 days' time in Anambra. And that's like the first test of Amukwiton, the new INEC chairman. But let me just get your stream of thought on this. What do you make of that? What do you think is going to happen come November 8th for the Anambra elections? Is it going to be business as usual, or we're expecting something different?
Personally, I'm expecting something different from Joash Amukwiton.
Why?
Because it came with a lot of energy, a lot of knowledge, a lot of insight, a lot of change approach.
How do you mean?
So like you said, this will be his first examination. So let's see what he has to give. But I believe because of what he's been saying, his moves and all that, I want to believe it's not going to be a game as usual. There's 60,000. How many people say did the military say? That's a lot for just one state election. So yeah, I want to believe there will be securities everywhere. There will be proper monitoring. 60,000 is a lot. So let's believe there will be security, there will be monitoring, there wouldn't be ballot snatching,
and malpractices.
Maybe there will be opened, let me use the word opened malpractices, that there will be payments at polling booths because there are policemen around watching. So let's believe.
We hope the police does not also stretch arm from behind to get something.
And
but let me pick your brain on Natasha, Akpabio, federal government, AGF, courts, and all of those issues, right? Akpabio and Natasha, they've been in the news. They've been in the news for a while now. We've seen recent conversations where Natasha went online to say, see the way you're treating me, a senator of the Federal Republic, and then she goes on to say a lot of things. Like, what do you make of that? When a lot of persons thought we have come to the end of the issue, we have come to the end of the tunnel, the next thing we should see is light. Unfortunately, we are not seeing light. We are still seeing some, encumbrances of fights and quarrels. What do you make of all of this?
So, I said it earlier, sometimes ago, that provided they were still going to be in that house together, we would always have issues. But are you also aware that this same woman invited Akpabio to our house warming lately? So at this point, I don't know what to believe again. So coming on air to do all of that, I think they just want to give us things to munch on, just want to give the media food to eat. Because if you come out and say you are being ill-treated, you are not treated well, and all that, and then we still read news again that says you invited this same person that we think is your enemy to your house warming, then what do we believe? Is he an enemy in the open and a friend in private? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So personally, I don't know what to believe again on their matter. But the truth is, maybe there's more that they are not revealing to us.
All right. So let me also pick your brains again on the issue of security in Nigeria. Troops repel Boko Haram attack in Borno, kill terrorists. Now, we've seen this kind of stories before, yeah? But we are seeing it more frequently, especially after that proclamation by the United States President, Donald Trump. Chad closed its borders that it shares with Nigeria. They don't want infiltration. All of those guys are preparing to leave. They didn't just do that out of the blues. They did that because they got probably an intelligence that says that the militants, the bandits are coming into Chad. And Chad is quite big, actually, bigger than Nigeria anyway. So they want to move there. So the Chad leader said, you know what, close all the borders, shut all the borders. So there seems to be a lot of ramping up. There seems to be a lot of movement. There seems to be a lot of working. We see Nurubadu coming out to say they've also done this, they've also done that. The security architecture is trying to beef up security at different places in the northeast and some places as a result of that issue. But do we have to wait for this kind of proclamations before we do what is right and what is necessary?
No, we don't have to. No, we don't have to. So what they just want to try to, I feel they want to try to prove a point that don't come. You are strong enough, you are capable. But you should have showed this capability before now. I think that's just it. They just want to prove a point that don't come, we are capable. But the truth is, we are not.
You say we are not. Now, Senate is also probing real derailment as new loans, contract debts, cost tier. This, I mean, if any nation is serious about transportation, I think a rail network should be something you should think about. You should invest more in. But we've seen the case where there's a probe now as to allegations of misappropriation of funds, allegations of, siphoning the funds, the national cake, like some would call it. There seems to be that issue. But now, the Senate is probing real derailment as new loans and contract debts are causing stress. So there's been derailments, and some people have also argued that many of the rail networks and rail systems being constructed in Nigeria, a good number of them are not even done by contractors in the country. They are done by foreign contractors. But some are also alleging that there's been a bit of misappropriation as to that. They are requesting, or they are getting more than they are doing. They are getting higher money and they are not doing what they should do. So we've seen derailment also in recent times, especially with the one in Abuja and as another one in the northern part of the country. But there seems to be a probe now. If you wanted to do this, then we should have done it better. Why do it shabbily to the point that we now have real derailment again and again? And this is not, I'm not saying this is peculiar to Nigeria. We've seen this in other states. There's Nepal, there's some other states that they've had this issue. But what do we make of the transportation system in the country? How best do you think Nigeria can actually work things out in that sector?
Transportation.
Very well.
I want to get a full understanding of your question.
All right, my question is, transportation is key. Rail network is key also to transportation. Nigeria seems to be not so up and doing in that particular segment, in that sector, I mean to say. But what do you think Nigeria can do better? Because you've seen issues affecting that sector, not pleasant, not, we should not use road transport as much as we do. Because if we have the rail system working across, we know Lagos is doing a lot of things, Kaduna and then Abuja. But what exactly are we doing across board to ensure that transportation becomes easy for an average citizen?
For the rail, let me start with the rail. Construction companies that would, or let me say, Nigeria does not have a construction company to construct railways. So they have to hire, or they have to outsource that, and that will be more expensive. So when we do that, we put Nigerians to oversee that project. The Nigerians that oversee those projects are also not good people. They will siphon money, they will steal money, they will do all of that. So who do we blame? We don't know who to blame. Everybody is finding their way to eat and take his family out of poverty. So any given opportunity, they strike. Well, unfortunately. So should we improve our rail system? Very well, very well. So how do we do that? Still not having a real construction company in Nigeria. When we hire outsiders, hire Nigerians who are transparent too, accountable, and let the government also establish a commission that will see to overseeing it properly, where there will be correct check and balances, so that siphoning and all of that will not go, but will be very minimized.
Okay. Thank you very much, Victor Akinleye, for joining us this morning. It's always a pleasure to have you around.
Thank you. Thank you.
And of course, we'll switch on to some other conversations, and that's speaking to the issue of justice deferred, or Chanaya case. But that will be after this break. Stay with us and don't go nowhere.
live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok @Dominion Broadcast and on X @DominionCast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Fellows Hall. Beautiful morning to you. This is Big Story. And today we turn our attention to justice deferred, the Ochoya case and child protection in Nigeria. 7 years after the tragic death of 13-year-old Elizabeth Ochoya Obanji, who suffered repeated abuse and untimely death from medical complications, our story has become a painful symbol of systemic failure. Despite national outrage, a key suspect remains at large. The first trial resulted in an acquittal, and the laws meant to protect children have often fallen silent. Still on the story, joining us is barrister Teresa Ikime, a legal practitioner, gender rights activist, former secretary of International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, and convener of the Network for Justice and Inclusion Foundation. She's here to help us cut through the legal, institutional, and moral dimensions of this case. Barrister, good morning, and thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, viewers.
Good morning. I hope I pronounced your name well.
Yeah, you tried.
Thank you. All right, barrister.
Yeah.
When you first heard about Ochanya's story, I'm sure some certain things came across your mind. You were thinking about all of those things. But before I allow you to talk about your reaction when you first heard about the story, let's watch this video of Ochanya herself while she was alive. She said some certain things, about this whole case. Let's pull up the video of Ochanya herself speaking.
I went to my mother's sister's house to school because there was no school in my village. So when I went there, when I was 8, the son started sleeping with me. Then when the sister caught him, the sister then reported him to the father. Then the father scolded at him, and that was when the father started. So September, when I went to school, I was not feeling fine, so I came back home. I went to Federal Medical Center in Makurdi here. I spent 2 months and 5 days there, so they discharged us. When I now came home, then that was when I told my mother that when I was in my uncle's house, my uncle and his son, they were sleeping with me.
Barrister, you've seen that video, a very sad video. What was your reaction when you first heard about the story?
It's pain. In fact, the video is making me teary this morning now because Oshanya could have been my child. She could have been anybody's child. She could have been anybody's niece. But the people she trusted most, they betrayed her. The auntie that was supposed to be there to protect her. Even they say, speak up, speak up. If she has spoken up, the auntie will want to save bury the story because of her husband and his son. She did it in the end anyway, dodging exhibits and evidence, medical evidence. So it's a story of betrayal, and the fact that Osonya's son is out now, Osonya's son is out now. There are loads of people, especially in northern part of Nigeria, we hear stories of VVF. They become beggars on the streets. We have loads of early graves from things like this. So it's painful that at this time and age, people can be this wicked to a small child that was put in your care. It's painful.
Okay, have you ever dealt with a case similar to that of Ochanya in the past, really?
Yeah, rape case. I've seen a case whereby the husband was brought to book. In fact, this one was even a small baby, a small child. The child was not walking yet. The hole in the baby's vagina, if you put a tennis ball, it could go, but it was the father that was doing it. Then later, he was now claiming they were like, he's mental, he's the, families will come, they will suppress the whole thing, the shame, they don't want the story to go out. And the families to relatives, they are afraid that, are we going to get justice? Did Oshanya get justice? So tomorrow now, any girl like Oshanya, maybe the family might want to feel that. What's the main reason? What's the point? We may not get justice. So the more we allow things like this to slip away, it's not helping the advocacy that people are shouting, come out, come out. Why things like this? But I'm happy that the case has been reopened. I'm just happy.
Okay, now that the case has been reopened, what does this really mean in legal terms?
Yes, when a case is reopened, that means maybe there was procedural injustice.
Okay.
Yes, new evidence has been found. The thing has been brought to book, and then as a result of the cry on social media, more people wanted justice because it looks like it's so glaring that this is injustice. But another thing again, a lot of people will upon the judges, they didn't do this. It's what you bring to court that the judges will use to they are like umpires. They cannot descend into the arena. It depends on the amount of evidence that you brought. This takes us to the investigative part, maybe at the police station level. Who were the people handling it? What the evidence they have? Did everything get to court? I want to talk this morning in plain language so that our viewers will understand. I've experienced, let me use it's like an analogy because I'm here on set. I've seen a video of a child that was being molested by a 70-year-old man. I think the parents, they suspected, so they put a CCTV camera in the room. I think normally when they are going out, they'll be like, go and stay with grandpa. So the girl came in from the video. She was already, she knew the drill. She removed her jeans and then laid on the bed. Grandpa started with his finger first. Later, she came. Then while she was lying down there, she said, Grandpa, look at your phone. She's like a very young girl, maybe not yet 10, not yet 8, safe. Grandpa, maybe in Grandpa's mind, I didn't put any phone there. To cut a long story short, the matter was taken to the police station and then brought to court. After some time, I went to court one day, that matter was on. So I saw the lawyer that was handling it. Like, she said, I'm not going to grant bail. I said, the matter is as good as the Baba will stay in the correctional center for a very long time. I said, you've watched the video. At that point, she asked me, what video? I was like, when the matter, because when you report a case at the magistrate level, the magistrate don't have the jurisdiction to sit on that matter. So they will remand you and take it to the High Court. The High Court level, the Ministry of Justice lawyers will come and take over the matter. So it is what the investigative people, what they give to you, transfer to you, that is what you use to prosecute the matter. If you don't have that, how can you get justice for that little girl? Because that particular exhibit is not there. So if I'm a lawyer to Baba, I'll be saying, okay, prove your case. What did Baba do? If that is the main thing, maybe I'm sure at the investigation level, if you have that, you don't even need to go and do medical test or whatever, because it's there, glaring. So those are the kind of things we face. The judges will not descend to the arena to fight the case. They are just like an umpire. I don't know if I can use another example.
Please
because it's just like there's a football match going on. The other team will say, there's a foul. What the referee will do at that point, if he didn't see it happening, he will go to the VAR and look at it. Is it a foul or is it not a foul? Oh, okay, it's a foul or it's not. What about if there was a blind spot? He didn't see it. His judgment will be based on what he has seen on the screen. So people will be shouting, that referee is biased towards Arsenal or towards Man U. But it's because of what his judgment is based on what he's seen. So our judges too, it's the same thing. They will not do your matter for you. They will sit down, bring your case, and I bring my case. And before you can jail somebody or sentence somebody, issue of rape, there must be some ingredients, 5 ingredients that you must prove. If it's one, that means you have one. You've not proven it beyond reasonable doubt. The mind of the judge is like, should I convict somebody? What if it's not the one? Because the ingredients are not complete. You have not proven the 5 ingredients. So at the investigation level, that is where some things go down the drain.
Okay, it's a very sad situation because there's another evidence, a video I would love us to watch very shortly now, where one of the nurses that treated her said some certain things that it got to a point she had to use diaper, a very sad situation. So despite all of those evidences that were available in 2018, the case was dropped. It was stopped in 2022, 4 years later. Let's take a look at the second video, and of course I would love you to comment on that video, really.
Before we knew it, 1-2 days, she couldn't make use of her legs, and running through to her waist, she was becoming lifeless from her legs to the waist part. But before then, she had challenges with controlling her urine. The mom told me before they moved her into this home that she also was passing stool uncontrollable. But when she came in, when we began to treat her, all of that came under control. Apart from the urine issues, all through her days with us here, she was on dampers.
Hospitals were not the only places Ochania visited before her passing.
All right, you've watched that video, Barrister. I want to ask this question. In sexual violence cases that we've seen, especially this Ochayan's case, why is it so difficult to get justice, despite evidence like this? And of course, we'll watch another video where the sister was also saying a lot of things about what happened to Ochaya. Because the father was acquitted in 2022. Even the son, I don't think he stepped into the four walls of the court at all. Even the sister recently was tweeting online, dropping tweet online, and people are asking, okay, we'll get to you soon. What do you make of all of this matter? Despite the evidences, in a democratic state, justice was not served to Ochaya.
Yeah, like we said, when there's procedural injustice that are brought to the fore, advocacy, now people are shouting, like, okay, revisit this matter. And the evidence, maybe some of them were buried. And then there's another thing. For example, in the case of rape, for you to prove case of rape, you're supposed to go to government hospitals. Okay. Let's say you start treating Ochaya in hospital that is not recommended by law. That is like a crack that whoever wants to be dodgy or fishy can first, okay, this one, the lawyer can say this medical report did not emanate from the place that is supposed to emanate from. At the investigative level, it is the job of the people that are investigating the matter to making sure that all those things are put in place for you to be able to prove your case. I'm just happy that the case has been reopened and then the court will take a second look at it, because like we said, he was acquitted but not found. It's not as if he was discharged. When you are acquitted, it means that whenever there's need for you to come back, the law can call you back, because criminal matters, they are not time bound. So that's what they are facing now. We are even grateful to God that he was acquitted, not discharged. Says you are found not guilty. So he was acquitted. Anything it can be 20 years time, the matter can be revisited. So the court will reopen the case and look at the evidence. Maybe they were buried before now and put under the table so that the judge, the prosecutor did not have enough evidence to prosecute them as at that time. A lot of things happen.
Okay, as a barrister, what are the things you think they can do better now compared to 2018 down to 2022? Because if the man was acquitted then, despite the evidences that were available, now that the case has been reopened, what are the chances that she can definitely get justice? How can they go through this matter? Because I read a tweet this morning where the brother of Ochaya said, oh, we've written to Senator Natasha to say that she's willing to take up the case. Is that the best way to go about it, or let's just focus on the Benue High Court? What are your opinions
at this point?
this?
I don't think Senator Natasha can help. Maybe background, and the matter is already sub judice. It's before the court. It's what is brought to court that the court will use, and I'm sure the courts too, they are listening. They are, and then before now, some people say the courts, they are corrupt. I'm not holding brief for anybody, but not in this kind of case. They cannot descend into the arena. I think we should put in place a system where we have speedy trial of cases like this. Because, like I said, we're discussing behind the scene. When you take, let's say Ochaya Ogboja, whatever is the name of the
Ochaya Ogbanje.
Ogbanje, not Ogbanje now. The name of the perpetrator of this crime.
Okay, the father.
The father.
Okay.
We think it's Ogboja or something.
Yes.
Was taken to court, and then at that point, they got him bail. They are even coming out now and shouting that freedom, justice for Ochaya, because everybody, unless you don't have blood flowing in your vein, you must be pained that this matter something happened. There was something there was a slip up. Let us correct it. They've opened it. Senator Natasha cannot do anything. We just hope and pray that the evidence they have now, they can use it so that the father and son will be brought to book. Although the son is still at large, we have not found him yet. They've not found him yet. That's a national shame again. We have BVN now, we have NIN. Is he not doing transaction with the bank? If the state really wants to get him, they can get him. But I'm sure now a lot of NGOs are coming out, interested bodies are coming out, the cry is loud. I'm sure justice will be done.
All right. Okay, so what reforms do we need in this country at this point in time to protect children like Ochaya? Because just like you mentioned, we have thousands of Ochaya out there that are experiencing this. Some are experienced this in the past, and they're just looking for ways to, get through this, the moment that they've experienced in the past.
First, I want to say that if a matter of rape has been taken to court, because more often than not, those people, they even beg, they agree, say, okay, let's settle out of court. They will be putting pressure on the father or the relation of the victim like that. Let there be speedy trial. Then NGOs should go to nooks and crannies of our society to sensitize children. Speak up, speak up. But even if Shana had spoken up, she was in a cage, surrounded by enemies, so to speak. People that she thought were her relations. Because her auntie that is supposed to be the closest person to her, the auntie will protect the interests of her husband. So there's need for us to sensitize people, then change in the judicial process so that there's speedy trial when it comes to rape. Not that you grant bail to the person 5 years after the person is still strolling, and the victim, you are seeing the person that raped you on the same street where you live. The shame is massive. You feel that you can't get justice. That's why people don't go along. And then the people that are at the investigation level, please, we all have children. They say if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. It might not be your Oshaya might not be your child today, and it can happen to your child tomorrow. Let us have that conscience, good conscience, to just follow up cases like rape cases to logical conclusion without dodging evidence, because it's the evidence that you need to, you know, jail them or send them to jail or punish them according to the law.
Okay, so some persons are afraid now because, you know, a lot of persons are tweeting justice for Chaya. They are afraid to say that, okay, if care is not taken, the activists online, I mean, the social media influencers, they might sabotage this case, you know, in a way, if care is not taken. How can we manage that? Because, I mean, a lot of persons are so concerned about Ochaya getting justice, but then we know that, you know, the responsibility lies with the court, yes, you know, to get that justice. How can we manage the social media noise at this point in time?
I don't think we can manage social media.
It will continue.
Yeah, I think it will continue. But I think some people in the on social media too, they should be there to like talk to people, influencers, to know that when a matter is sub judice, you can say justice for Osanya. Don't talk too much. Don't start insulting maybe judges and the Benue State High Court. Really and truly, if for you to reopen a case, you have found new evidence, that means those evidence were not before the court. The court, the arm of the court will be tied, that they can't do anything about it. So, but in a way, the shouting on the social media is good. If we had this amount of shouting in 2018, maybe they wouldn't have acquitted him from the crime. The matter would have gone okay to its logical conclusion. Or we start shouting right from the police station level. Whoever that is investigating, putting all the evidence, exhibit together, will be like, let me be careful. Anything can happen. Or these people can know that, this is the officer that was in charge of investigating this matter. I think shouting is good, although it has its bad side. But when we shout, let's shout with caution on social media. Because we can't get verdict from social media. Yeah.
Okay, before we continue, let's watch the third video on this particular case, and it's talking about what really happened. Because some persons were saying, okay, maybe she moved to her auntie's place because there was no finance to cater for her education. But then the sister came out to say that was not what happened at all. Let's take a look at the video, and of course, I would love you to react on that third video this morning.
You'd never believe they would do such a thing. In fact, if Ochanya had told anybody without what was happening to her, nobody would have believed her. So nobody suspected it. My mom practically worshipped the ground that those people walk on. We were responsible for Ochanya's school fees. The clothes, her food, the only thing they provided for her was shelter. All in the name of primary school. Ochanya was already five years. She has never attended any school because there was no school in the community where my mom is. Even till date, people will go outside, like they'll go to the town, Bokolo. They call the town Bokolo. That's where my aunt and her husband, that's where they live. Parents from my mom's community, they will take their children to Bokolo. Some kids, children as young as 10, 15 years, their parents are getting them accommodation, like renting an apartment for them to go to school, because there's no school where the parents are. So the situation was that bad. It's not like we did not have money to take care of Ochanya. In fact, Ochanya had people. She had people both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. Ochanya was well taken care of, better than any of us. If my mom is going to visit, she used to go there to visit her. To tell you that this whole Ochanya stuff is, I'll just sum it up like, it's a situation of bad governance, trust, like too much trust, and betrayal. That's just the three ways to define it. Because if not for school, Ochanya would have stayed with my mom. A 5-year-old girl is still in the house. She has
Barrister, you've seen the video. She said if a community at the school as at 2018, Ochai would not have moved to her auntie's place. What is the role of the government in this? Because if such a community didn't have a school as at 2018, yes, even if you check very well in 2025, there are still some communities without a school. And of course, people will have to move from one community to the other just to get their children enrolled in maybe primary school or secondary school. What is the role of the government in trying to ensure that certain things like this are put in place? Because I mean, Ochan's life could have been saved if a community had a school. I'm not sure she would have moved out, really.
You see, the buck stops at the table of the government. We don't have infrastructures. Before now, during Awolowo time, you hear people that went to school, even in riverine area, schools were there. You can send your child to school in the village where you are now. Even the schools we have in the cities, they are not even taking. You see some of them, the roofs are leaking. The government failed Oshonya, in this regard. Because if there was a school there, like the sister said, maybe they wouldn't have taken her to maybe the city where the auntie was living, so she can have the access of school, going to school. She even said something that they rent rooms for 15-year-old children so that they can get education. Things are happening in this country. We hope and pray that maybe this new administration will do better. We know that there's rottenness in the system. The systemic rottenness is not just from the executive down, judiciary, legislation, everywhere. I think is rotten. But there's need for us to build schools for our children. There's need for more advocacy, because I think Oshaya, even when the thing started, even if she could not talk to her auntie, if she had that boldness, she was assertive enough, maybe she would have spoken to somebody in school. She would have gotten the help that she needed at the initial stage. But I don't know. And then I saw another video where she said the boy would drug her before sleeping with her, So it was a conundrum of so many things. But the government failed Oshaya on this. A lot of people if you talk to older men in the 70s, they went, in my village, the riverine area, there were schools there. People used to go to school in the boarding house in the riverine. But go to those areas now, we don't have schools there any longer. So the government has failed Oshaya on this. So there's need for us to build schools, infrastructures, not just schools, hospitals, schools. And then reform everywhere across the board, because even the police that are supposed to do the investigation, if they are not well taken care of, you cannot give what you don't have. The hospital that they are supposed to go and carry out the investigation, forensic investigation, what if they are there? They don't even have the reagent to do what they are supposed to do. The whole thing is just systemic rottenness. It's painful.
Okay, Barrister, can you speak to this issue now? Because there are some young girls, of course, that have been molested in the past. A lot of them are finding it difficult to move on with their lives, based on shame and, of course, the way people now see them after what had happened. A lot of them are not even willing to speak up because, look at this case of Ochaya that spoke up, several times, but then she didn't get justice. So they are so scared of speaking up, but at the end of the day, they won't get justice, and a lot of persons will get to know about the case. You run an NGO. How do you deal with issues like this? What are you doing to ensure that people get to speak up often when they experience things like this?
Yeah, recently my NGO just went on a campaign for the International Day of the Girl Child. For a month, we're able to reach 10 schools and we're able to cater to like 1,800 girls. One of the things I would say, I always use myself as an example. Sitting down here before you, my first experience of sex was rape. So I tell them my story. So because sometimes you need to give them raw stories so they can connect with you. However, in my own case, I went to tell my mommy straight away, because even my mom was shocked that, oh, so you still have respect, as they say it. And the person, too, while I was crying, begging, he didn't believe that, because I just left secondary school, and I think I was about 20 or so. He came and said he wants to marry me. My mom, that was supposed to be angry, it was as if they were celebrating me. The community, you know, that, oh, so she still has respect. Like, as they say in Warri, so you still get respect. You still get respect. And we still say you don't spoil. Things like that. So I was kind of confused. I ran to you people to say this. Then you people, because, so you want me to be second wife. But in between, it's like everybody was pampering me. That shame, I didn't really feel it. But I know what it means to, when somebody has been raped and you carry that shame. What I say to them is, it is not your shame. It's the society. It's the shame of the other person. So, like I said, I was in a rural recently. After talking to them, a girl now wrote a note and said, how do you cope with the shame in the neighborhood and move ahead? So what I said, look at me. Tell yourself it is not your shame. You have to pull yourself up from wherever you are. It has happened. It has happened. Don't let that thing weigh you down, because the tendency for such a thing to weigh you down, it will affect your schooling. Sometimes you might feel like reading and the thought will just come because of the way you were taken advantage of. It can disturb you psychologically. So I always encourage guests by telling them it is not your shame. Pull yourself from wherever you are. It is that whoever did that thing to you, I don't want to use curse word on air, that has the shame. So you can still be whoever you want to be. So I always give them my story to encourage them, to letting them know that even though such a thing has happened to you, you are still who you are. You can still achieve more. You can be more. So
thank you so much. All right. Okay, before we wrap up the show now, what would be your advice to parents, guardians? You mentioned an example when we started about a young girl that was molested by the grandpa. What do you think parents can do? Because there's a case of a celebrity in Nigeria. She said she's going to homeschool, her daughter because of some of the cases she's had in the past. But then some persons cannot really afford, homeschooling their children. What do you think, parents and guardians can do going forward? I mean, to learn from this case, how best can they ensure that their children, not just the boys and the ladies, even the boys sometimes are molested. So how can they ensure that they are safe, really?
I think parents has a lot of work to do. Sexual education, those myths that if a guy touch you, let the child understand that we are talking about sex here. Like I said, another girl wrote a note and said, at 15, I've not started seeing my menstrual flow. What should I do? I'm scared. I said, don't be scared. I too, I was a late starter. I didn't start on time. So look at me. This is you here talking. However, as soon as that your menstruation starts, if anything happens, you start seeing boys up and down, pregnancy can come. You are telling the son, hey, don't do your DD. Say it where, penis. Let the child know that this is the thing. So that when they are not, faced with that kind of, in that atmosphere where, okay, they know that what this uncle wants to do to me is wrong. Because some of the children, they don't even know that, okay, uncle wants to use this thing. They don't know. Sex education is very important. Educate your children, their sexual organs. Let them know the different things it means in their body and how pregnancy can come. Give them that boldness to speak up. Don't say that uncle is saying my wife. All those little things that we do, let them be aware of it. Because if you don't have knowledge of it, anybody can just take advantage of you. Yeah, and then be your child's friend. Let there be room for conversation. Sonia's case, maybe the mummies were in the interland and maybe no phone to talk, because she kept quiet for a very long time. She could have said, I want to go and see my mommy, or they knew that something was going up. They don't want to even give her that space.
I think at a point, the lady said that, the woman that, she stayed with, she kept some of the result of Ochanya for long. So it didn't get to her parent, despite the fact that Ochanya was complaining bitterly.
By the time it got to keeping results, the thing is not a rotten case. It's like stage whatever. When it started happening, maybe Ochanya came there very early. The early impression she had was that, oh, this is my mommy's uncle or my mommy's auntie, my sister. I want to believe that, because the thing started happening at age 8, a bit 13. No, age 8.
Age 8, yes.
I don't know. 8-year-old child. Although, when you have trust in your sister, you can just keep your child in the care of it.
Okay, are we saying people should stop, allowing their kids to go and stay with people, at this point in time, because it's caused a lot of things,
Is that not child slavery? or child labor. Because Oshanya will be there, they will say sweep the floor, do this, do this. Indirectly, they will use your child. But I'm sure Oshanya small feel that this is my sister. She will treat my child like her own. Because me too, I grew up in communal environment where anybody can send you, ask you to do anything, and you must obey, whether the person is your mom or not. So I think it's that sisterly bond that made her do that. But however, let us talk to our children. Tell them this is your penis, this is your vagina. If anybody is touching you, you should not go beyond a particular place. And if anything like that happens, come and tell me, let me know. You know, so it will go a long way in helping people. And more NGOs should go to schools to sensitize children. Because we are speaking, it's happening as we sit here. Somebody is molesting another child as we sit down here, as we are talking. So, but we will not stop talking until we get justice for Oshanya, because any girl child now is like on Oshanya, endangered species.
It is a sad one. A big thanks to you, Barrister, for being a part of this program. Sex education is very important, and it should start from the home. Let's not rely solely.
Don't wait until they are old, at that very young age. Tell them this is that. It might be from picture first, but let them know that this is different parts of the body. Some girls have been raped. Give them Oshanya story so that when they are faced with similar situation, they know that this is what my mommy was talking about. Not that don't touch your DD, do this. When they touch you, you'll be pregnant. No, tell the girl when you start having sex with boys, because you are telling her when they touch you and somebody is touching her and she's looking at herself, I'm not pregnant. Okay, she's thinking that okay, maybe my mommy was even lying because you didn't really explain to her. Touching is not touching, sex when they have sex with you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. It's a perfect place to drop it this morning. He has a strong reflective thing to say about all that happened this morning. Thank you for being a part of a big story today. And of course, before we wrap up the show this morning, just like I said, a big thanks to Barrister Ikime for being a part of the program. And then she mentioned some things to say that sex education is very, very important. When justice leaves, innocent people they die, and it's a very sad one. We do not need that in our society. And then silence becomes a crime. This morning, as we close the conversation, the story of Elizabeth Ochanya Ogbandi stands as a haunting reminder of what happens when society looks away. A 13-year-old girl trusted the adult around her, family, school, and the law, and each one failed her. Her pain should never have been a burden alone, and her story should never have taken 7 long years before she was heard again. Thank you for being a part of Big Story this morning, and of course, do well to educate your children, the girls and the boys. Let's not leave the boys. Let's also educate the girls. Also, Barrister, thank you so much for being a part of the program. All right. To when next I come your way on Big Story, I'm Oluwayemi Adelako saying good morning. Please stay with us because Trend Watch will come up soon. We'll be right back.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Casts. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment.
Welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us till this time. It's time for Trend Watch, and of course, I'm not alone in the studio. I have with me Anuluapo Ido. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. I'm back from Ochanya. How do you call it? Ochanya.
Yeah.
All right. Back from that situation. It was a very wonderful conversation because we need to talk about these kind of things. It's very important.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you have for us for Trend Watch?
Yeah, for Trend Watch today, something quite interesting is on the table of discourse. You know, the governor of Kogi State was seen. So we'll show a video. Well, we can show as we pari passu, we'll just be talking, and then we can have the video, the clip of, you know, the governor celebrating his birthday, his son's birthday in the UK. Some called it lavish. It was a big one, really. But this is the way. Governor Abdulrazak holds lavish birthday for son in UK as bandit sacks several choir communities. That's the caption of the story. As bandits are ravaging across the states of the governor, he has gone a step forward to celebrate his son's birthday lavishly in the UK. So this has called for a lot of reactions. But many persons asking the question that why are leaders like this? I mean, there's nothing bad in celebrating his son's birthday, but putting it out there lavishly and all that is a question because people ask you. So if you say you're celebrating at this one, even Nigeria did not celebrate a parade for this anniversary, the 65th anniversary.
Are you saying Nigeria is broke and that's what we did?
Well, maybe Tinubu would answer that, but again, you know, the president came out to say that there's no form of celebration in that sense because of the underlying situations, conditions.
The tension in the country, really. But then I think it's a very good one to talk about because, I mean, if you're a politician and of course you threw a lavish birthday party for your son, people will ask, you know, is this your money or maybe the government's money that you're spending? Because, I mean, influential people in the society, sometimes they throw a lavish birthday party for themselves or maybe for their children, and people might not really say much, just that they might tell you, oh, you need to be careful of the FCC, maybe when they're spraying too much cash in the party. But then I think, you know, as a politician, maybe he could have toned it down a bit, but then it's still subject to whatever he wants to do. I mean, this is Nigeria.
It's also the case of sensitivity. If you are very sensitive, we have so many people. I went through a bit of data. I have my data facts right with me right here of the situations we've had in recent times in Kogi State particularly. Not so exciting, you would say. But, you know, all of this too, we have to maybe ask ourselves questions that we should ask ourselves. According to Nigerian Living Standards Survey in 2018-2019, okay, so that's like one data, but let me go into one that is peculiar to this. Now, we've seen, you know, the journal Nigeria came out to say in September 2025 that, you know, Nigeria lament persistent insecurity and banditry in that particular region. Another newspaper, Business Day newspaper on June 21, 2025 also came out to say Kogi JTF Security Agency arrests 26 kidnappers. That's on Business Day. Another Guardian newspaper just in the same year, June 20, says insecurity steer clear of Kogi, Ododo wants bandits. And there's a lot of stories about insecurity, kidnapping and banditry across Kogi State. Is it sensitive enough for the governor to throw a lavish party?
It might not be sensitive, you know, just like you mentioned, because of the tension in the country. And of course, I think politicians should be careful going forward. Just like we talked about, you know, Wike traveling to UAE, but this, you know, kids and Nigerians were saying that, are they going through political internship? I mean, the funds that were used to actually, you know, to actually make them travel with him, you know, are they public funds or his own personal funds? It's an issue. But then at the end of the day, it still boils down to how we look at these issues. I want to bet it with you. Other politicians will still do the same, whether for themselves or for their sons going forward.
Maybe that's why Nigerians are crying. They're clamoring against this. This should not happen. Be sensitive enough.
Be sensitive. I think it's a fine place to live it this morning. But maybe when you become a politician in the future, be sensitive in case you want to throw a lavish party for your kids. It's a fine place to live it this morning. Thank you for being a part of Big Story. Do well to join us tomorrow. And until then, my name is Oluwayemi Adelaku. I'm saying good morning. And
my name is Anulu. Will not make mistakes of doing that. But again, thank you. Nigerians, stay tuned to Dominion Television. We're live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and every other channels you can find. Thank you for joining us. Join us again tomorrow for another exciting, scintillating experience with us on Daybreak Live. Thank you very much.